AGM this year. And so even though unfortunately we still have noted start time, we will start. We are actually, and those of us who remember we are. I saw Reverend Jechi outside. Also, can you please say us an opening prayer to start our AGM? Thank you.
Shall we please, Father? I have any Father. We thank you for the opportunity to serve at medical school in various capacities. And thank you for the opportunity to school here many years ago. Thank you for the way this school has blessed our lives, is blessing our nation and the rest of the world. At this meeting, we invite you, as always, sit at the table, sit with us, guide our discussion, inform our decisions, and give us the grace to implement whatever we decide on. Lord, we pray for our other friends, loved ones who must join us, but who are on their way. Grant them journey mercies and bring them. For those who are joining virtual, we also pray for. When this meeting has ended, give us every reason to come back to you and say thank you. This is our prayer. And we thank you for answering us through Jesus Christ, our Redeeming Savior and King. Amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend Jechi. Of course, the agenda for today's meeting has been shared on all platforms. So I want to believe that you've seen it. And so after the opening prayer, going by that agenda, the next thing is the school hymn. So unfortunately, even though I can count our numbers on one or maybe 1.5 hands, let us please rise and sing the first 2 stanzas of the school hymn, Great City of the Outlaws Hill. Great city of the outlaws hill, with the hope which makes us blind, still in thy youth thou darest to look, bound to centuries of time, born back to through thanksgiving, the ages all belong to thee. Oh, may thy light more humble grow through him who service makes us free. Thank you very much. Please take your seats. That's your chicken. I'm going to let you come and sit next to you, but please don't hold hiding. Next on the agenda is, they say welcome address, please. I'm going to have welcome to it, but of course, thank you very much for making time. This is the highest decision-making body of our association. So it's important that we are all involved, so you know what's going on, we can brief you. And for me, even more importantly, to carry the message from here to all our year groups, all our members, as to what it is that we're doing and how they can support. So welcome to the 2025 AGM. Thank you for being here on time. We will proceed as per the agenda. The next thing on the agenda is our traditional roll call, which is led by our Vice President, Akraha Obuseku. just before we started, we whispered in my ear, Accra President, given the numbers, can we move it to the end? So we will oblige that request because this is unfortunate in terms of the numbers to start. So we'll move on to item number 5 on the agenda, which is approval of the draft, review and approval of the draft minutes. Hopefully, by the time we're done with that, we'll have more interesting numbers. Once again, these minutes were circulated on all platforms. And so if you've had a chance to look at them, we will do a page 10 and correct them as you help us do. Page 1. Starts with attendance, opening, apologies, adoption of the agenda. We do have apologies from Accra Yabuati again, she's in the UK and can't make it. The welcome address, minutes of the previous meeting, matters arising, renovation of the OAA Secretariat building, that takes us to page 2. No corrections on page 1, I presume. Page 2. We spoke about the UG chapter, the national debate competition, renaming of structures, and motor school. And then we moved to the business of the day. We did the president's report that was captured on page 2. Are there any corrections? On page 3, the president's report continues under the heading of the project committee encroachment, project needs list of the school, academic committee's report, the centenary planning celebrations report, committee's report. That's what's captured on page 3. Are there any corrections? We go on to page 4. We discussed at the time the new due structure, not new anymore. And then there was a separate report from the Achimota School Centenary Planning Committee. That's page 4. Any corrections? We move on to page 5. I'm sorry. 8.2. Yes, Madam President. Madam President.
President's report. Yeah.
8.2.
After the president,
After the president's report. Okay.
Yeah.
Page 5. We took the headmaster's report. Any corrections? Page 6, where the headmaster's report continues. Page 7, the report of the Achimota School Endowment Trust Fund or Asset Fund. Any corrections? Page 8, Asset Fund report continues. And then we speak about the audited accounts under 9.0. No corrections on page 8. Page 9 speaks about the presentation of the OAA's audited accounts. No corrections. We're doing very well. Page 10. I would assume that because you haven't read it. I rather assume that because the minutes are perfect. Page 10. Of course, the executive committee was authorized to fix the auditor's fees. There was an election AGM, so it captures the elected officers. Accra Vice President wants to score my seamless review. This is a small typo, so we'll correct it. There's an A present where it shouldn't be, so we'll correct that. And any other business, we talked about the 30th anniversary celebrating their group. It was 1993 at the time. They made a donation of 50,000, 92 and 93, forgive me. Then we spoke about the Colabo payment system. We discussed the Accra loyalty program. That's on page 10. If there are no corrections, page 11. Accra President Sarah Lemansuri mentioned a conversation around considering the move of the AGM venue to the Assembly Hall. And there was an appeal for assistance from the 2012 year group. Accra Ambassador Spirit Gabriel had left the asset fund, so there was a vacancy, and then we closed. Yes. Yes. 0. You're the A that never finished. Okay, so Accra Law Manager, we will say Accra Manager. Where you have an A, it should be Accra Law Manager, and the year group is 2001. If there are no other corrections, can I have somebody please move for the adoption of these minutes as representing the meeting of the last AGM? Accra Sena Siam Ambassador Sena Siam Wati moves. Do we have a seconder? Accra Martin Ruchi seconds. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda, across is the matters arising from the minutes. The first is the loyalty program. I have to say that we haven't made as much progress as we had hoped, but I'll have Accra, your opinion concerning this speak to you very briefly, and then we'll take. Good afternoon, everyone. On the loyalty program, we've built the platform, the technology platform that we're going to use. What's left is for the committee working on it to finalize the proposition to vendors that we want to sign on, and then sign them on and see how we can begin to yield the benefits to our crops. So it's work in progress. Quite a bit of work has been done, but we've not completed. Definitely before the next AGM, you'll be using it. Well, I just use that as a marker. So let's say in the next 3 months. Thank you, Akra. But I think what we probably should also add at this meeting is open it up. So Accra businesses, anybody who's interested in the loyalty program, anybody who's interested in partnering the OAA and Accra by providing a service at a discount for the volume that we could potentially bring in. By all means, please reach out to the OAA Secretariat or Accra person directly as we build the directory. Okay. So please reach out to Accra and the Abena person, and let's once again go through the vetting process, payment system process, and all of those things, so that you're part of the rollout in 3 months. Thank you very much. Next is annual dues increment. I think that's already in progress, has been implemented. Unfortunately, though, as the Gen Z say, the vim with which we paid last year, I don't seem to be seeing that this year. Can I see by show of hands year groups that have paid their dues? 83, 76, 86, 75. When people are thinking, they should be receiving how much. They should finish thinking before they reason. Have you paid? 2003 have paid, but there's still room for improvement across that bottom line. So please, if you haven't paid, if you can kindly lean on your executives to make sure that's paid. I mean, that's what keeps our secretariat running. That's what helps us pay for our people in the secretariat for all the work that they do for us. So please, let's make sure we're paid up in the next month maximum by the end of this month, please. I'll follow up with reminders on the OAA reps platform. The Accra welfare matters arising will be captured in the actual report. So that brings us to kind of matters arising from that meeting. except those that, of course, are continuing to be captured in today's report and the various other reports that we'll see. So that takes us to the President's report, and if you will, with your permission, I will read. Good afternoon again, Chris. It's a pleasure to come to you all at to welcome you all to this year's annual general meeting. We are, of course, grateful that you made the time, whether you are here in person or online, to be here, but we don't take it for granted. It's in the documents that you have in your copies. And if you scanned the barcode as well, you can have a soft copy of this report. So if you have any questions from me at the end, I'm happy to take them. And suggestions and contributions. So thank you for your continued participation in OAA activities throughout the year. To those who are yet to actively join our events, I encourage you to step forward, especially as we prepare for Achimota School's centenary celebrations. We are counting on the participation of every Accra from all year groups, friends, and benefactors alike. At our last AGM, we adopted a new system of collecting dues, with each year group contributing 12,000 cedis annually. While collections have been slower this year, we are making steady progress. And like I said, I'm hoping that by the end of July, we'll all have paid them. Just a reminder that when you collect within the year group, anything over and above the 12,000 stays with the year group for your own activities, for welfare, or whatever you deem fit. But that's an opportunity to collect for the benefit of the year group. Please see Appendix A, your documents for the summary of dues collected today. So for those of you who are not sure whether you're paying or not, how long? Appendix A. Speaking of dues, Accra should kindly note that while we advocate for admission for our children and wards to Achimota School, dues payments do not guarantee automatic placement due to the limited slots available. And also because for consideration, it's not just the fact that you paid your dues, there are other parameters like how well the said child has performed. So a lot of the time we get the pushback that, but I paid my dues and my ward wanted to come and you guys didn't let me in. We understand that, but it's not a quick pro quo. It's not pay your dues, get entrance to Achimota School. We continue to push though for an increase in the 5% quota currently shared by across the school board, the PTA staff, GS officials, and others. We understand your frustrations and share them, and we will persist in advocating for a fairer policy to reflect the contributions of that Accra makes to the school. That said, though, let's please pay particular attention to the policy on supporting Accra's protocol admission. There's a document that guides it, talks about a first come, first served policy. We all know how many Accras there are. We all know that we can't possibly have room for every single Accra child. So there has to be a way of screening. So first come, first served is the child must have gained an aggregate 10 and all of those things. So please let's respect that. And then of course, when there are situations that need particular attention, we're always happy to look at that. Remembering that the support that we're given, we have no guarantees, we have no control of admissions. At the 2024 President's Ball, sponsored by the 1994 year group, are they here? Thank you very much for a great President's Ball last year. I think you already have a good time. At that event, we honored Accra Dr. Maud Engman, 1953, Accra Barbara Vita, 1956, Accra Okonate, 1956, Accra Bernard Saki, 1969, and Accra Osman Lai, 1975, our auditor, for their outstanding service at Achimota School and the OAA. We are grateful for their contributions and will continue this tradition of recognition for the upcoming President's Ball on Saturday, 25th of October, this time hosted by the 1995 year group. So the next President's Ball, Saturday, the 25th of October. Please look out for more information on prices and location and all of those. Please support the 1995 year group and indeed the OAA by purchasing tickets when they come out. Projects Committee. The OAA Secretariat building, I'm sure you remember we've spoken about it in a few AGMs. Reconstruction has delayed a little because of the complexities involved in safely removing asbestos roofing, for instance, but we are committed to progressing as soon as a safe removal plan is finalized. We applaud the 1975 and 1985 year groups for successfully completing their legacy project. Let's applaud them. We equipped the OAA internal science labs with equipment for biology, chemistry, physics, and agri science, along with some consumables. Their collaboration is a testament to what we all, and 2-year groups, 3-year groups, 4-year groups can achieve together. The construction of the 80-unit classroom block is ongoing, targeted for completion by speech day in 2025. This is the project of the 2000 or 2G as they like to call themselves year group. The 1966-67 year groups have generously contributed $80,000 and will receive naming rights for a classroom in the library when this is done. Of course, fundraising continues, and with that, we're hoping that we'll meet our timeline. But I think we should also recognize the Peace Club for the 1966-67 year groups, supporting the vision of another year. These are the ways in which we can achieve success together. It's all for the benefit of our alma mater. The 1976 year group has commenced its legacy project to build an 8-unit apartment block for teachers, scheduled for handover in March 2026. Can we kindly recognize the 1976 year group as well? If you missed the soft ceremony, if you've done that, we are making steady progress. Accra Chair, President Prof. I understand you. Welcome.
Thank you.
We encourage all our requests to request the school's project list from the Secretariat or Headmaster's Office and align their efforts with the school's needs. Many hands, they say, truly make light work. Academic Committee report. The OAA Academic Committee is actively supporting the school in improving academic outcomes through targeted interventions. After analyzing WASI results from 2020 to 2024, targeted programs led by Accra Professor Jepoma Jekedapo demonstrated the value of early support and scalable confidence-building strategies for students. The committee will share its intervention framework with school leadership, covering resource mobilization, expert engagement, student support, and performance monitoring. Plans include building an Accra expert database, rolling out subject tutorials and peer monitoring pilots, organizing subject-aligned field trips, engaging with the assistant head academic to monitor progress, hosting staff dialogue sessions to foster collaboration, teacher buy-in, and we're saying the teacher buy-in is critical to ensure the success and sustainability of these interventions. There's a full report on Appendix B of the document before you. Communications Committee. The Communications Committee continues to guide year groups on the proper use of the school's crest and logo and other paraphernalia, emphasizing that all designs must be vetted to avoid costly errors. You may have noticed, the errors with the use of, and I see President Mansari nodding already. The errors with the use of our logo have been going on for years. But it gets to the time where you get to what you call a stop rest movement, where you need to stop and sort out. Now, I'm looking at Accra Martin Lentry's Jubilee Club, the one that we've all worn for generations. When you look at that, the logo in the Jubilee Club, the proportions are wrong. But here's where we are. So we will correct all of those things going forward. And then, of course, once we finish using the ones that are wrong, and hopefully we can move into correcting it going forward. But there's a lot of cleaning up that needs to be done and that we're doing. We acknowledge that communication within the OAA, particularly with Gen Z Press, needs improvement. While many are less active on WhatsApp, they engage on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. We are collaborating with them to enhance our reach. If your year group has missed updates or misses updates, please reach out to the Secretariat so we can address this promptly. I know of a few of us who come to me and say, I don't get emails, I don't get this, I don't get anything. Before we started this meeting, our vice president was telling us that this is how he went to church in his OAA Accra Ghana. And so everybody who went to, who was in church, what are you guys doing this time, blah, blah, blah. And he says, oh, yeah, I'm going to the AGM. He said, how come there's an AGM and you tell us? And he says to them, but look on the vehicle, let's look on the vehicle platforms. And each and every one of them who look on the vehicle platforms. Okay, it's there. So we have a problem with sometimes when things are posted, especially for the red platform, people don't forward it. But even when we do, we don't read it, and then it's quickly we come and say, you never saw it, you never saw it. So please, let's once again cultivate the habit of at least checking. I'll encourage all year groups in terms of managing your year group platforms to also set up a notice board group for your year group. Because what happens is that because there's a lot of chatter on the main year group, people switch off. But if you have a notice board in addition, then at least people know that when they go there, if there are announcements and important things, whether it's intra-year group or, of course, with the whole OAA, they can see that. So please, let's consider adopting that. Achimota School Centenary Planning Committee, and Accra Vice President who chairs that committee will give us a full report. But let's remember that the theme for the centenary is Achimota at 100, celebrating the vision, honoring the legacy, inspiring the future. Planning committees that have been set up include historical documentation, Accra, Leslie Chair, Accra, Sarah Mansouri, and a few others on that committee. Thank you very much for all the hard work you're putting in leading into the centenary. Of course, sponsorship and fundraising. I doff my hat off again to Accra Leslie, Accra Vice President and Chair of the committee, Accra Eunice, for the various levels of engagement we try to have with the various year groups, 20-minute thing, to try and get you to understand what the plans are, and of course, to elicit your support in terms of both cash and kind for the centenary. Of course, Achimota Speaks will continue. There's a sports committee, Achimota subjects in worship, memorabilia, opera and drama, publicity and finance. And of course, as we move closer to the centenary, if any other ones come up. Most important for this AGM is to ask you and your year group members, please, once again, let's not confess. There's a lot of knowledge out there, there's a lot of experience out there, there's a lot of expertise out there. If there's anything you can do to support the OAA, to support Achimota School as it turns 100, please step up and let's make this a grand celebration of our alma mater. Historical Documentation Committee. This committee's work focuses on a book documenting Achimota School's history, 50 years since its golden jubilee. So there was a book that captured the story up to 50 years. Now, typically in the 50th year, you don't get, on the year of commission, you don't get to do much because that's the year of commission. So what the idea now is to dial back a few years and capture all the way to the centenary. And also if there were any gaps in the story that was told before, to make sure that we capture that so we have the full story of Achimota at 100. So that's work in progress. A documentary and the establishment of a school museum. A historian, Professor Akwesi Amaku-Jampa, the University of Winnipeg, is leading the book project, supported by a steering committee chaired by Accra Professor Emeritus Adai Mensah. Thank you very much. With Accra's Akosia Peggy, Kofi Bako, and Isaac Quest. We welcome documents, photos, and publications with narratives, which will be scanned and definitely returned to whoever sent it to us. So please, the Achimota story, lots of us have generations of families of Achimotans. So please, if you have any information out there, look through them, share them with us. We promise that we will scan them very quickly and return them to you. The documentary will capture Achimota's story through interviews across generations, beginning with centenarian Accra Soa in Javano. We invite Accra once again with stories. Share them. The museum will house class books, year group brochures, old magazines, the Achimota, for those of you who remember it, souvenirs, uniforms, and other memorabilia. Even our jewelry cloth will have in the museum to capture the history of where we've come from and where we finally change. So contributions, once again, and ideas across are welcome. Sponsorship and fundraising. Our initial fundraiser at the Fitzgerald East Cantonment in October 2024 provided seed funding for centenary preparations. We have since launched a raffle. Thank you very much for those of you who are buying tickets for the raffle at 100 cedis each. Please continue to do so in multiples thereof. As an aside, currently the raffle is digital. We've received commentary about, look, some of us want to buy, some of us are not exactly digital. So we are looking to expand the scope of availability so that I can come to you and ask you to buy booklets instead of tickets. I see that class are already done. So instead of buying 100, if you buy a booklet of 1,000, I think it will get us to our target faster. Well, yeah, booklet, 10,000, 50, the retirees can do 1,000, and crowd and go can do 5,000, but whatever it is, we'll get to our destination faster. Achimota, the first draw took place on Friday, the 27th of June at the new library here on the school compound, where 10 across won prizes. Proceeds will support projects, especially the school farm restoration project. We encourage all across the friends to participate in the raffle and stake to win while supporting this very worthy cause. Achimoto Speaks. Achimoto Speaks lecture, the Achimoto Speaks lecture series continues twice a year into 2027, where we will default to our original celebratory year monthly series. We invite across to join the planning committee to participate as speakers and panelists. Here, once again, just to elaborate a little bit, a lot of the time, when we get into these Achimoto Speaks events or in the lead up to it, when the adverts come out, these are the speakers, we get all kinds of feedback. Why are non-Access speaking on Achimoto Speaks? To explain that the platform is an Achimotan platform, but they're using that as an opportunity to have conversations that matter to our country. So if anybody has anything to contribute, by all means, they have it. Then we get the thing, why are there more non-Achimotans than Achimotans? Nothing will please me more than to showcase Achimotans in this story. A lot of the time, however, when you reach out, you get all kinds of stories. Accra, with your home chairs, the Achimota Speaks Committee, and I'm sure he can tell you what we go through. So please, Accra's, we are enjoying to go out as living waters to thirsty land. This land is thirsty. So please, please, please share your expertise, share your experiences, and when you are approached to step up and share, please, please do. And then if even it's not you, but you know somebody else, a colleague, a pastor, a senior, somebody in the field, please suggest them, because nothing will please us more than putting our presence out there to help shape the Ghanaian narrative. Or the other one that we struggle with is the gender issue. So by the time we're finished, there's a pack of men. I think, where are our Accra ladies? So Accra ladies, please, please, please step up and let's be counted. Sports. The sports committee has led walks marking the school's milestones, including the school's birthday. The launch of the centenary countdown clock in Lubon Village. The walk and drive from Kambaka to Accra are planned to herald the start of the centenary celebrations, with the walker and riders arriving together at the school. While the publicity committee has supported various committees, the mandates of the other committees not mentioned here are still work in progress. As and when they are ready, we will flesh out the remaining plans for the centenary. Just before I go into the last part of this report, which is the strategic plan, and to tell you about it and to seek your support, the Accra headmaster, since he's been here, has instituted an annual flag raising ceremony to mark each Achimota birthday. Once again, the advertising goes out, people don't turn up, and then we hear, oh, but we didn't know about it. We should be doing something, we should be. It's being done. So please, once again, especially for the reps platform, when these notices are put out, please share them. Then, of course, let's encourage our year group members to participate in these things. To close out my reports, I'll speak to you about the OAA strategic plan. Some of you may have noticed that last night, or I guess early this morning, I sent out an appeal to all our press together with a survey. But essentially, we are committed to making the OAA a world-class alumni association. To determine how best to achieve this, we have to align as a press, in all honesty, on where we need to be and how we're going to get there. To this end, we put out a very short survey, it shouldn't take more than 20 minutes of the time, to glean much needed information from all of us in Accra Nation. Please fill out this questionnaire and share your thoughts and suggestions that will truly lead us to our objective. It will be open for 2 weeks. I've asked Accra Gloria to send us a reminder midweek this week, next weekend, midweek the following weekend, before we close on Sunday next week. At the end of that period, we will collate the information and then continue with putting together the set strategic plan. Once it's complete, we will engage all our press again and share where we are going and how, of course, each and every one of us can contribute to getting us there. Let us be ready for whatever changes will be required. There will have to be changes in the way we do stuff, how we engage, what we engage with. But let us be ready for whatever changes will be required in thought, in word, and in deed to make us a truly world-class alumni association. We will indeed be the head of all the hosts of alumni associations and make the OAA an alumni association of whom we can truly boast. I appeal to every Accra to actively participate in our upcoming events and encourage others to join in as we prepare to celebrate Achimota School 100 and its legacy. Thank you very much, each and all, for your continued support and dedication to our alma mater and, of course, to our association. Are there any questions? Typically, we'll go on straight to the headmaster's report. And I think I should just pause just in case there are any questions, anything I can throw light on. In the absence of saying, Akwa Headmaster, once again, thank you very much. We see the change in the OAA Achimota School engagement levels since you became headmaster. We are truly happy to continue supporting. So, a round of applause for Akwa Headmaster, even before we take question.
Thank you, Accra President. Unfortunately, my report is very little, so can't find it in there. Book. It's going to be very short. It gives me great pleasure to be invited to participate in this year's annual general meeting of the OAA and to have the opportunity to present a situational report on the happenings in the school. I thank the executives of the association for the opportunity, and I acknowledge with a lot of gratitude the various forms of assistance the school continues to receive from various year groups of our press and individual press. Your alma mater would forever be grateful. The year has seen a period of remarkable growth and significant strides for Achimota School, and will continue our unwavering commitment to the nurturing of well-rounded individuals. Progress of the school. Student population. Currently, the student population stands at 4,577. This comprises of 2,742 girls and 1,835 boys. The breakdown according to classes are as follows. SHS 1, 1,622. SHS 2, 1,467. SHS 3,488, giving us a total of 4,577. Out of this total figure, 877 are day students, and 3,700 are in the boarding houses. The school still runs a transitional calendar, and so at each particular time, only 2 year groups are in school. As at now, we have only the Form 3s and Form 1s in school. The Form 1s will vacate on the 25th of July, and the Form 2s will join the Form 3s on the 28th of July. The Form 3s will stay till they finish their final exams in September. Staff strength. The staff strength as at July 2025 stands at 323. The breakdown is as follows: teaching, 222, made up of 149 males and 79 females. Non-teaching, 95, 54 males, 41 females. The number of non-teaching staff is woefully inadequate to meet the needs of the school. It is hoped that vacancies will soon be filled, and the request for additional staff will be positively responded to, so that the school will continue to run smoothly. Discipline. Both students and staff are generally behaved well. The disciplinary issues involving students were dealt with per the rules of the school and the recently released Code of Discipline for the Ghana Education Service. Teachers who also neglected their duties were queried accordingly. The expectation is that students and staff will continue to be of excellent behavior so that the school will continue to run smoothly. Infrastructural development. In the course of the year, the 1975-85 donated science equipment to the OAA Talo block for use by the science during practicals. The 18 units classroom block being constructed by the 2000-year group is progressing steadily. When the block is completed, it will help the school reduce the number of students per class and also improve teaching and learning. The 1976 year group is constructing an 8-unit staff bungalow to replace the bungalow that got built some years ago. It is also progressing steadily. Their plan is to hand it over next year. The 1986 year group is putting together plans to start the renovation and refurbishment of the Agri Chapel. The 2001 year group hope to start the renovation and refurbishment of the Science Lecture Theatre soon. Through the effort of the board chair, we are hoping that the construction of the school wall will continue soon. Extensive renovations are being carried out on some of the existing blocks. Though at a slow pace, we hope to get it all done soon. Academic work. Last year, the school registered 1,708 candidates for the WASI. 1,020, representing 85.0%, scored between 8 A's and 1 A. A total of 1,076 students out of the total 1,708, representing about 65.9% qualified to enroll at the tertiary level to study. The school is determined to improve upon these statistics and is working towards that this year. Attached is the results. I will hand it over to the executive until you this to put it on the page so that you can all have a look at. 2025. A total of 1,458 final year students have been registered to take part in this year's West African Secondary School certificate examination. Teachers of the final year classes are feverishly preparing the candidates so that they can all write their exams and be successful. A meeting will soon be held with the parents of the candidates to discuss their awards preparation and the school's expectations of them. In the meantime, the WASI final timetable is out and has been brought to the notice of the candidates. The examination will start in August and will end in September. Most of the departments are doing remedial teachings to smoothen all the rough edges in the preparation of their students towards a successful outcome. The students have also been given the skills needed to form study groups and do peer teaching and learning to assist each other. Monitoring of teachers, class attendance, and classes. The mechanism has been put in place to enable the management to monitor teachers' attendance to class during normal school hours. The feedback has so far been very good. The names of absentee teachers are buried and made to teach lost periods. Heads of various programs are also tasked to present weekly reports on their program. This is keeping the teachers and students on their toes. And conduct hours are being utilized judiciously. The Agric Science Department was selected to pilot the new curriculum on agricultural science, and it is going well. The school has also introduced a STEM program in addition to its original programs. The OAA Academic Subcommittee and the Board Academic Subcommittee and the PT have been very supportive in the school's quest to achieve excellence, and we are very grateful for their efforts. Co-curricular activities. National Science and Maths Quiz 2025. The school have qualified for the national contest, and students are motivated to do well this year round. And we expect that the team will go all the way to the finals and possibly win the trophy. The preparation for the competition is becoming very expensive now, and I'm asking for the continuous support of OAA and other parents association. The Home Economics Department won both the regional and national competition of the Onga Book Arts. The Robotic Club took part in the annual Impact Roundtable discussion and the robotics competition, ETA 2025. The team who won the winners' trophy, 6 medals, 4 laptops, and a cash prize of 24,000 Ghana cedis. They are also scheduled to attend the first level League Robotic World Championship in the US from the 26th of July to 10th August 2025. We are trusting that they will make Achimota proud again. Financing such competitions is expensive, and will always knock at your doors for support. All other activities and competitions organized in the school came off successfully. That is the Speech Day 2024, the school's birthday, Founders Day 2025, the singing competition, gardening competition, and the inter-house sporting competitions. This year's Speech Day will take place in November, and the 2026 Founders Day will take place in March as usual. The exact date will be communicated to you soon. Parent Association support. The Parent Association support fund. The Parent Association continues to support the school in many ways. The association fully sponsored the conduct of the second mock for the SHS3 students. This gesture has been of immense help to the academic calendar of the school. The association still pays salaries of several security personnel and some laborers it has contracted to provide service to the school. I want priority projects. With the ever increasing number of students in the school, the volume of trash generated daily is much. The school's refuse dump site is gradually becoming a health hazard and will require some support to deal with it as soon as possible. Acknowledgement. The school would want to register its sincere gratitude to all our parents for the continuous interest in the growth and development of the school, and for all the donations received in the course of the year. May this cooperation, mutual understanding, respect, continue to form the relationship between the school and all members of the OAA. We shall continue to knock at your doors whenever the need arises, and the school management is also open to all suggestions that will be beneficial to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. I think you deserve a round of applause. Yes, next year we know there's a PTA meeting happening at the exact same time in the Assembly Hall. He should be here to address us. So please, let's show him some love. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Do we have, I think I saw Accra Senna here a while ago, but she left. Do we have reps? She stepped out. Reps of, okay, so is there any other rep of 1986? Okay. Their project is this Agri Chapel, and so they are looking to give it a significant facelift. So thank you very much to them. Accra Headmaster mentioned our current student capacity, and I saw the reaction of the crowd. It's difficult to wrap your mind around it. If you look at what the same facilities, we added on a few. But anyway, in that general spirit, I also want to recognize 3 different groups and individual, 1 group and 2 individuals who've committed to each give Achimoto School a boarding house at various times. As their legacy project, the 2002 year group intend to build a boarding house, and we have across Saka, Adomensa, and Accra, Bafo, Isiamaji also looking to do the same. So we'll keep you posted, but we do need the support across, of course, as individuals, or whatever connections we have with various corporates. If we leave this to the government as ordinarily it should be, I don't think that we'll be able to deal with the problems that we have. So thank you very much to these across and the 2002 year group, and to all across who have continued to support the Achimoto School in every possible way. Across, we don't always have the chairman of the school board being an Accra. We've had it for a few times, but we have the chairman of the school board here, and I think that it will be remiss if we don't hear from him on what the board is doing and how we can help the school board achieve some of their aims. So let's go. Accra, before we hand the mic to Accra Professor Diamond Saka, Asabuso. To the headmaster? Okay.
Just 2 short questions. Were any results withheld or cancelled in the exams? Number 2, when I was coming, I saw some works going on in the swimming pool and the old maintenance. Yeah. Any information?
Very valid questions, Accra Prof. Very master.
Thank you, Prof. No result was cancelled. Good. The work going on at the swimming pool area. When I took office, I realized that the swimming pool was down and it wasn't working. And I needed money to fix some of the structures. So I consulted Accra, Shiloh, and now person, and they said I'll be able to bring that swimming pool back to life. And in 1987, but they renovated it at the point when I was here. Luckily, they all agreed, and so we brought the swimming pool back to life, and we started using it. But now, normally, when you listen to my report, I don't talk about finances because we are all on 3 SHs. And so it will be very difficult to raise money to take care of the pool. So I asked that somebody or the school, I set up a committee to look into it and see if we can allow outsiders to come in to give us a token so that we can use some to buy chemicals and also use the rest to take care of the other old structures. We are trying to, what is there? We are just trying to expand the sitting area of the swimming pool so that those who come around to have parties and other things can give us some small amount of money to use that place. But when they come, we don't want them to come inside the park. And so just behind the post office, we are just trying to create a parking area so that when they come, the cars don't drive at all these things. That's what you are saying. Thank you. No, what happened was that I wouldn't want any teacher to stay there too, because if they are going to do all those things, then it will be a nuisance to them. So what we are trying to do is to get a small place, an office for those taking care of their swimming pool, and maybe a sitting area when they bring their children and all the others. And that's what is happening. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Akrapa. Is there another question before Akrapa? Okay. Akrapa, we'll come to you.
Thank you. Headmaster, in your report, you mentioned that there are 2-year groups in session at a time.
Yes,
These
sir.
ones are going out on the 25th, and the next ones are coming on the 15th.
Yes.
Please tell me, when do the teachers get a break? That is one. The second one, you also talk about parent association. You didn't say BTA. Has there been a divorce? For now, yes.
Yes, because of our numbers and the school's capacity, we can't keep all the 3 streams in school. And so we are running what we call the transitional calendar. And what it means is that we are gradually transitioning into a single track, but it's going to take some time. For example, last year I wanted to reduce the number, but my brothers did not allow me to do it. And sisters not allow me to do it. And so it's going to be a bit slow. But this year, I'm pushing, but it's not worked out yet. And I'll plead with all of you. If we don't do that, it will be very difficult for us to go single. Now we are getting an 80-minute classroom block. Some schools are promising us dormitories. So when we get this facility, we can expand. But for now, running the transitional calendar is not easy for us at all. So I'll plead with all of you. Let's see how best we're going to work. If the pressure on me goes down, be able to do something about it. Then,
What you said, when do the teachers?
no, I'm coming to that. What we've done is that we have, though it's not a very good thing, but because we want the teachers to rest, we are doing it. So we have assigned teachers to various forms. So maybe the teachers who teach form 1 don't teach the other forms. Teachers who teach form 2 don't teach the other forms. We have a few because of the teachers available. If you continue to ask for more teachers, the time will come when you go single, they will all have to go. So we have a few, just about 10 to 15% who runs through the game.
Akrapa,
Thank you very much.
oh, so Akrapa, one second. The question of the T in the P.
Initially, when the previous government was in power, there was a policy that teachers shouldn't be part of PT. And so the T went out. But with this new government, the T is not gradually coming back.
Thank you very much, President. There are few things I would like to bring to your notice, likely because they are of interest to exporters. The first is really an extension to the report that the headmaster presented to us. He gave us the numbers of the students. He gave us the breakdown boys and girls. And you could tell that there are far many more girls than boys in school. Having worried over the years about the slow transformation of this school into a girls' school. And so we need to, at Water School is a co-education institution, which means for me, same number of boys, girls. And it's for a good reason. So the school board has agreed, and we are working with the headmaster to ensure that for the next time, instead of admissions, there will be 50% boys, 50% girls. The reason for when we're here, there were many more boys than girls. And with time, there was always a need to get a balance. Now what we've done is we've gone backward. It has, many people may not notice, but it does have some effects on the boys in the school. It does have an effect. And if you take a bit of time to express, to show you exactly how it plays out. Today, Atlanta school boys are quite lacking in confidence. Quite lacking in confidence, yes. And so we are working to change that. We are working to get a school where both the boys and the girls feel adequately respected and then feel sort of supported. And that's what we are doing. The other thing I thought I should bring to your attention is what the board was doing about the school lands. You will recall that at sort of earlier meetings, we prevailed upon the school board to approach the government or the president of the land to provide a consent for the school to be able to legalize or regularize the stay on the occupied portions or encroached portions, namely around the Gulf Coast. So, and the president or president did. It has come to our notice that the Lands Commission, which we have been working with to ensure that the regularization took place without any hitch, has begun to act unilaterally. Yes. Effectively doing it for some people collecting money and not being informing us about what they're doing. And so efforts to get them to sit down with us and reorganize things have already worked. So I went to see the president, the new president, and told him about the situation. He fully supports the position of Achimota School. He appreciates the fact that the Achimota School land is not like any other public land. Only the school board can inherit any of these lands, was with the permission of the order, with the consent of the president, which he has given. So he has undertaken to organize a meeting with the Lands Commission and the Minister of Finance to see how best we can change course. So that's for your information. While there, I also spoke to you about the fence wall that was suspended, largely for lack of funds and litigation with the Usufan's people. And in my presence, he called the administrator of the GEPS fund and asked him to prioritize the completion of the fence wall. In any case, before the centenary celebration. I was not happy. GEPS fund is working with the headmaster to see how best this can be completed. Also, then we discussed the centenary celebrations. We invited him, and I made him aware that we had previously written to the royal family in the UK to invite them. Thanks to a lot of effort that Leslie, I mentioned, put into this. We received feedback from the royal family that it was too early. That was last year. It was too early, and we should wait closer to the celebrations come back and then agreement. Since then, there's a new Prince of Wales. So, and the old Prince of Wales is not in a position to come to Africa for something like this. So the government has agreed to work with the school, with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to make contact with the royal family in order to get the Prince of Wales to join us and then maybe spread a bit of something here. The final thing that we discussed was an old idea that we've had about getting governments to give certain schools in Ghana much more freedom in the organization of their schools. We didn't use the word autonomy, sadly, because the political terms is not a nice thing to pursue. But we asked for greater authority for the school boards, and we discussed the possibility of having at least 2 of these in each region of the country. And he was fully supportive. And then we set up a committee which OAA will be represented to look into the feasibility. I know our medical concern have been pushing hard with the alumni alliance for this kind of thing. And so we will work. It's about how do you empower school boards to do the kinds of things that are necessary to make the schools function more effective. I made a point to him that we don't have any objection to the efforts to bring up poorer schools in less endowed areas. We believe that you can do that better if there are good schools in those regions that can pull up the others, which he, at least he seemed to agree. So, I left and I called him and I told him that everything I had the president, he agreed, but I don't know which one he said. Everything I asked, he said that. Anyway, so, but at least when they get fund, there's fraction. They need to the school. And so we will see a completion of the first one before the centralization of the right.
Agraboche, maybe you want to just mention top line board committees.
Oh, sure. Yes, sorry. Yes, one of the things that we've done recently is to inaugurate 6 committees, subcommittees of the school board. And each of these committees is chaired by a member of the board. And then they are open to others outside of the board. So we have a committee that takes care of projects. What this committee basically does is to advise the school board on what kind of projects we need to approve or undertake, and what kind of planning we need to pursue in order to ensure that the school's properties are very well maintained and are ready and fit for purpose. Another committee, a second committee, is the Committee on Lands and Legal Matters. As we just discussed on the land, has quite a number of land challenges. Those who want to take our land for free, and those who want to sit on the land and do what they like, which may be in conflict with the plan use of these lands. So we do have a land and legal. As I said also, many of these lands are in talking of the contention. So we are often embroiled in court cases. So we have a committee that works on both land and legal matters. And their job is to basically advise. We do have a legal consultants outside, but the legal committee of the school board that tells the board which cases to pursue and which ones to let go and how much to spend and so on. They advise the school board. We have an education committee, which is or an academic committee, and their responsibility is to ensure that the board can support the school adequately to help improve the performance of the school. So things like the curriculum and how we can support it, things like the maintenance of standards, support for teachers, etc. All of these are the responsibility of that board. There's a fourth board, a fourth committee that is responsible for discipline. The idea is to advise the board on what kind of discipline measures to take with respect to students and staff, and that they've all been inaugurated. I think that the last committee, finance for obvious reasons, basically ensuring that the school's finances are well managed and properly reported on to the appropriate authorities. And then finally, there's a committee which is chaired by Professor well, it's emeritus professor, I was mentioned, for naming of facilities at the school. The idea, this function was right there in front of the mandate of the projects committee. I'm taking out considering the significance of it. They have already developed the criteria that can be used for naming any facilities at the school, whether they are classrooms or boarding houses or anything. And it goes beyond that to how to recognize apparatus and others associated with the school for any achievements that are worthy of recognition. So Professor Iglesias committee has done that. What they now need to do is to move into using the criteria that have been approved by the school board to begin naming facilities. They already do that when we submitted them structures that require some naming. I know that there was been talking about what they've been calling here the new house, There's a new house. Hopefully, by the time we have a speech day, there will be a name for this new house. But one of the things we like about the recommendations are the fact that it is transparent. So if some building is named after NSO, nobody's going to come to and say why NSO. The process that led to NSO is transparent. That process requires a call, nominations, and so on. And we develop criteria that will be used. Maybe Victoria and as of whose name came, there will be Leslie Irett, there will be I think there will be so many different names. And then they will use the criteria in a manner that is transparent. So if you see that in the end, the new house is named after Mr. Y, you can see how it happened. You don't need to ask the school board chair, anybody. That's the question I often get, anybody. You know what, again, I feel like I know. So I think
I think you covered everything.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I must say that the projects committee is chaired by the OAA president, and I can see from my presence on the platform, the WhatsApp platform, they are doing over time. They are doing far more work than I do, but it's okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Two things I want to add to that report. That we've also spoken to the same Get Fund once again through the government. For buses. Now, if you see a Chimonto school going out for any event, be it sports or it's pathetic. We only have a 33-seater bus that the CH group donated to us, I don't know, 5 years ago for 4,000 students. And when these events happen, sometimes annoyingly, in our school, when we host them, you see all kinds of schools with a population of 500, 600 arrive in the school with huge buses, sponsored or funded by the Get Fund. How it makes sense. And the good thing is that they've been spoken to, promised, and they will look into it. So we'll keep you posted as well. And the final thing I want to add to Brian Watch's report is to say thank you to all of you across present or otherwise who've stepped up to support the work of these various committees, as has been requested and named. So thank you very much. Now you notice that a lot of these things are also areas of expertise, right? So by all means, if you know anybody who can help us in terms of plans, in terms of facility management, in terms of academic, please step up yourself if you are that person, or if it's somebody you know, by all means suggest that we are open to, even if they are not members, they could resource people that can help. It's like I said in my original speech, they said many hands make the load lighter. Thank you very much. We'll now turn to sorry, Akasha, yes, please.
Yeah, I'm going to have Yeah, I meant to ask you about that. I know that it took us close to 10 years. I know that there was a time when it didn't look like it was going to be possible. But eventually, we did finish. I belong to the dynamic 65-year group, by the way. Eventually, we did finish our testing. And I thought that at least in your report you would. Yeah, at least tell us. You are using it and you are happy about it.
Yeah, because it was in my last report that it's been completed and it's being used. That's why I did not mention it. Yes, it's being used.
Akasha, it's also, I strongly believe, captured in the asset fund report because it supported you to get it through. So it was reported last year, and we mentioned again this. The dynamic 1960. A round of applause for the dynamic. Across we'll turn now. Okay. Yes.
Thank you very much. I just want some clarification from Accra Minister. You spoke about the boy-girl ratio. And I was just thinking, intake is based on performance. So if the girls are doing better than the boys, how are we going to get the boys to start doing well to catch up with the numbers?
Before you respond now, I believe that this depends on the demographics. You know, these girls, these days, more girls are encouraged to go to school. In our time, less girls went to school. Thank you.
Before you answer, we are tracking the online commentary as well. There's one that says, if admissions are based on merit, stroke scores, the ratio of female to male should not matter. So I'm just adding that to that.
If admission was solely based on merit, if admission was solely based on merit, it wouldn't matter. Yeah, but it is not. It is not. Nobody has any quarrels about the capacity of girls. Nobody. And I've been in education all my life, so I do understand that. I also understand that for a co-education institution, you need balance. You need balance. That balance was not there 30 years ago, every 40s. And so we didn't move from one imbalance to another imbalance. That's what we are against. We want a school in which boys can perform to the best of their abilities, and girls do the same. That's all. It's not really there. I don't know if you really believe that everybody in Achimota School in 2025 is here because of their performance. Do you believe that? No. So there are many factors. There are many people who come into this school today with grades far worse than those going to Laboni or going to Brothers or so. Yeah, people who come in simply because of government policy. So it is the politics of it that has led to the current situation. It's nothing to do with performance. Unless, I don't know when, of course, I mean, I don't want to go too far.
Thank you very much. We'll take some very quick questions on.
All of us, or most of us, believe that Achimota School was the first OAA educational institution. It was not. And I think some of us are aware of that. I think it's time that we set the record straight so that we do not later on get accused of, absorbing credits that are not really due us. There was a school in Kenya that was employed before Atlanta was built. It's in yes, I'm sure. Prof knows. It's in Professor Apolita's book, and also I think in the word Okonatu movement as well. So please let's all be aware of that.
Thank you very much. We will take
the name of the school.
therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem. When you ask motor school, you take the money in the bank. The things we've done, we've done. These the things we haven't done, we say we've done. So we are so hard. And a few of the positives. So let's very quickly, if you permit me, let's just see what our online participants are saying, and to make sure that they're engaged. There's a question online about waste management across university.
Thank you. Has the school thought about having a segregation and waste management facility, separating plastics, cardboard, etc.? Also, the plastics can be crushed and sold or converted into lumber for benches, furniture, etc. Some plastics can be converted into pavement blocks. Now, Anakratu is kindly asking that we identify ourselves before we speak. Thank you. Yes, Ian Quoting.
Thank you. Interestingly, yesterday, myself and Accra Vice President when Accra I'm forgetting his name. And yes, at the former board chain, that's what we were talking about. And we are even planning to get some machines and other things to help us clear the work there that we started. There's something to be thinking about.
Accra Vice President, you have anything to add?
Yeah, so the suggestions made were actually, we had a detailed discussion on all of that, source segregation, moving, the composting. Accra Headmaster mentioned the fact that I told that choosing as one of the schools for the agri under the centenary, we are looking at the school farm, the new school farm, which is between the school and Kingba. Already some work has started over there. So we are looking at how to use the large volume of organics in the waste generated in the school to create some kind of, I don't know what to call it, manure, some kind of soil conditioner, which would help with the farming initiative. That is what has started now. And if it is possible to integrate it into what we plan for the new school farm, that will be done. And then already the school has already done some work on plastics. If you go around the school now, there are some receptacles for picking the plastic. And I think those 2 years ago, Christmas time, they did a Christmas tree using the plastic bottles. That is some kind of recycling initiative which is taking place. And for the new STEM class which has been developed, that is also one of the things which is in their curriculum, looking at how they can integrate good environmental practices into the work that they do. So we've had some initial discussions and we started some work on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Harold. Okay, so we'll turn now to the Achimoto School Endowment Trust Fund, Asset Fund, represented here today by Accra Yaobena Ponsa. The chairman, Accra Fame, sent his apologies. He's out of the country, but he's ably represented. The committee is ably represented by Accra Yaobena Ponsa. This is the report. This is the report of the trustee meeting. Achimota School and this is the
The membership of the fund remained largely as it was before, except to the resignation of Accra Ecospio Gabra, who was then replaced by Accra Martin Nenji of the 1983 year group when we had an election at the last AGM. The board met 7 times during the year, both in person and virtually. But I think most of our meetings were hybrid. So to the activities of the fund, the main activity undertaken by the board in 2024 was the launch of the Inter-Houses Fund competition. This was done to operationalize the new sub-fund structure and to increase Accra's visibility of and engagement with the asset fund. So just to explain a bit, in the past, the fund was conceived as one fund. But now when we refer to the asset fund, it's not just one fund. It has sub-funds as well. We've created a number of funds which gives contributors flexibility to contribute to causes that they identify closely with. And all of that, the aggregate of all the funds constitute the endowment to the school. The competition sought to raise permanent capital to endow a fund for each house. Income from this capital will be used for the maintenance of that and upkeep of each boarding house. I'm happy, I don't know if I'm happy or not, but I'm obliged to say I'm happy to announce that the maiden competition was won by Stockford House. Razor House took second place, and Gadgetsburg House third. Congratulations to the winners and to the boys' houses on the Western compound in general for dominating the inaugural campaign. So while there are more girls in the school now, when it comes to giving back, the full results for each participating house are given below. And I'll go through. Stockford House, also known as OAA House, previously House 18. This is reasonable. Anyway, before you go, 131,024 cities, 17 pesos. 131,024 cities, 17 pesos. Fraser House, formerly known as House 12, 51,600. Gadgetsburg House, 51,431 CDs, 20 pesos. Kingsley House, 43,316 CDs, 68 pesos. So, the yellow bills, you did well. Livingston House, 41,524 CDs. Slezzer House, 29,693 CDs, 9 pesos. Agri House, 25,975 CDs. Clark House, 22,190 CDs, 42 pesos. Lugard House, 18,709 CDs, 11 pesos. Very disgraceful from the Vice President. Agri House, 16,104 cities, 50 pesos. McCarthy House, 7,800 cities. The gentleman reading was from Suzanne Fourier House, previously House 11, 5,395 cedis. Joyside House, 5,050 cedis. Baita House, House 17, 3,700. And Jamfi House. I repeat, Jamfi House. I say again, just to be clear, Jamfi House. So Jamfi House, 451 cedis, 10 pesos. May I read that again? Jamfi House, 451 cedis, 10 pesos. And Jonathan's house, which really doesn't have alumni, 20 cedis. So the total raised from the inter-house funds competition was 453,984 cedis and 80 pesos. In all, 180 apparels participated in this event and made a contribution. 180. We estimate that there are about maybe 25,000 apparels. 180 contributed. Among the year groups, the OAA 1989 year group contributed the highest amount, followed by the 1957 year group. There's this principle that those who benefited the most from the school should contribute more, especially those who left the school with wives and husbands. And most of those are 1989. Guilty as charged. I commend the Accras of 1957 for their constant and unwavering commitment to give to their self-care. Finally, special mention should go to the class of OAA 2006 for making the highest number of payments. A full list of the donors and awardees of the campaign and for all contributions to the asset fund will be communicated when the annual report of the asset fund is published. It is important to put the contributions made to the house funds in perspective. Using Stofford House as an example, the endowment, which we will manage properly, it could generate an income of between 13,000 cedis to 26,000 cedis per annum for the maintenance of the house. As this fund continues to grow, we hope that it will eliminate the need for special initiatives by operators to support the house. The flip side is that the less endowed houses, like Jamfi House, will have less to work with. This is why these funds are so important. I therefore encourage all operators to take every opportunity to contribute to their house fund at least annually. For 2025, we will run the house funds campaign over a shorter period towards the end of the year. We also expect that the challenges that we had last year with recognition and acknowledgement of contributions received will be resolved with the launch of the collection website, which is still in development. So, Accra, Sarah, before you ask, that will also be finished by the end of August. We are working on the two concurrently. Collaboration with the year groups 1972, 1977, 1982, and plus 233 by Brill. The asset fund received a generous donation of 150,000 cedis from these groups, which were proceeds from their annual Records Night event. 50,000 cedis of the amount was used to support the class project for the OAA 1984 year group, while the remainder was added to the main fund, the unrestricted main asset fund, for ongoing investment. We are grateful to the organizers of the event and Plus 233 Bar and Grill for what we hope to be an annual donation to the asset fund. Payment of asset fund levy. With a new dues payment regime instituted by the OAA, year group levies to the asset fund increased from 20,000 cedis in 2023 to 28,000 cedis in 2024. We are glad to see the positive result, but hope that the contribution rate by the OAA to the asset fund can be reviewed and be significantly higher. Support for the school. Across the asset fund supported Achimota School with a grant of 100,000 cedis paid out of income to assist with the completion and operationalization of the new kitchen on the eastern compound. This was a high priority project. This was a high priority project that required our involvement. The facility has been completed and is in use, making a difference to the feeding and nutrition of the thousands of students of Achimota School. As should be the case for all capital projects of the school, we will work with the OAA, with the dynamic OAA 1965 year group to ensure that there's an endowment available to support the long-term maintenance of the kitchen. I hope the pipeline is short. So just to again emphasize this principle, it is now a principle of the OAA and also of the school that any project carried out in support of the school must have an element of cash, which will be given to the asset fund to manage for the ongoing maintenance of the asset. Otherwise, we come here, we build, we hand it over with all the fanfare, and then we come back after a few years and we say, why hasn't it been maintained? For a school that's struggling to feed the students, obviously, maintenance is relegated to a distant second. So let's take note of that. Investments. The asset allocation of the fund remains highly liquid, with investments mainly in low-risk assets. At the end of the year 2024, 49% of the assets were denominated in Ghana cedi and US dollar cash. 15% were in mutual funds, and 43% were held in Government of Ghana Treasury bills. Subsequent to the date of this report, trustees have allocated some US dollar cash to US Treasury bills. So if it's in cash, basically we're not earning anything, but in Treasury bills now it's around 5% or so. Funds under the asset fund, the number of funds under the asset fund remains at 21, unchanged from last year. I'm happy to announce that the STEM fund, which was launched last year to support STEM education at Achimota School, has been seeded by a generous gift of $10,000 made by Accra Joseph Titus Glover of the OAA 1989 year group. Auditor update financial statements and net asset value. As I announced last year, the new auditors of the asset fund are Ernst & Young Ghana. And here, if I may acknowledge the efforts of Accra, Western Valley, who for several years audited the asset fund pro bono and helped us to grow to where we are. Thank you, sir. Given that this is the inception audit for Ernst & Young, the process is taking longer than anticipated. We expect that we will have audited accounts and circulate these to the OAA before the end of August. Our unaudited results indicate a net asset value of the fund of 2.8 million Ghana cedis as at 31st December 2024, up from 1.2 million cedis the prior year. Kindly note that this amount is subject to the audit. In conclusion, 2024 was a year for increased visibility for the asset fund among Accra's, as the board sought to improve engagement with alumni. A positive outcome of this is that more year groups are looking towards the asset fund as a partner for their support to the school. Going forward, the trustees will expend more effort in raising the level of contributions from corporates and endowments, both local and international. We will need the help of all of you to get this done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Accra. Reading the report on behalf of the Asset Fund Chairman, Accra Bufefe. I want to, before I open the floor, okay, I see a hand up already. Let me take that before I move on today. Accra Officer Emeritus Adamus.
The distribution of the funds, I think I had a pension 49% or 15%, 45%. That goes beyond our
it's a McCarthy house law.
I will have to look into that further. I was reading on behalf of the chairman, but I imagine that with the returns and on the principal, so maybe that's how we have that distribution. But I will look into it further.
Accra to let the treasurer may have something to add to that. But while she finds whatever documentation, I just want to say a big thank you. Oh, okay. Accra.
I was also hoping that it will be acknowledged. Okay, Accra Equity was a group, OAA 39 year group. And thank you for the report. I was also hoping that it will be acknowledged that the OAA 39 year group completed their pledge of $50,000 contribution towards the asset management.
Yes. We mentioned we mentioned the original commitment, but what you want us to acknowledge is the fulfillment of the commitment. Okay. Thank you. It is noted. It's expected that when Accra makes a commitment, it will naturally be fulfilled. Maybe that's how we do it. But we are grateful and we are expecting more because we set up a special fund for OAA. So there is included in the 23 funds that make up the asset fund, there's a 1999 fund that is for them, that acknowledges everything they bring. So please, when are we getting the check?
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Accra. Do you say anything to the members of the 1999?
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify that the 49% was a currency split. It said 49% of the assets were in Ghana cedis and the rest was in US dollar cash. And then he mentioned that 15% were in mutual funds and 43% were in treasury bills. That was an asset class base. The rest were we hold, so we have treasury bills, we have some mutual funds, we held some dollar cash, and we held some CD cash. So that's the asset class mix of all. And we had, I think he mentioned an unrestricted fund. We have a STEM fund. We have a Phoenix fund, which is mainly for the operations of the endowment fund. So the 43, 45, 15 are not supposed to be added. They straddle different things. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Akra. So I was saying a big thank you to all the trustees. Please send message to your trustees. And the OAA and Achimota School, the ultimate beneficiary, is grateful for their continued service to the school. Thank you very much. Moving swiftly along, the next on our agenda is the OAA strategic plan. I've spoken a little about it in the report. I mentioned that last night or this morning, I sent out a WhatsApp message. It's gone out also on emails on all Accra platforms, informing us about the need for a strategic plan. Now, the OAA is not a new organization. Generations of Accras have contributed to the OAA and through the OAA to Achimota School to this point. That said, we are in different times for different reasons. Even technology alone requires that we have a stop press moment and we look at our association and see whether or not we are quote unquote fit for purpose. So the executive have decided to put together a 3 to 5 year strategic plan. 3 years takes us up to about the centenary and a few years after. To ask ourselves what it is that we're doing and how best we can contribute to Achimota School, and of course the Accras in the OAA itself. So our starting point is to talk first and foremost to the quote-unquote rank and file. It's our association. We all have ideas, we all have thoughts, we all have experiences. So please take a look at this survey. It shouldn't take more than, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes of your time. And even that if you are putting in very verbose suggestions, which please do, then it will take you up to 15 and 20 minutes. But if you're just clicking through and providing your information, it will take you much less than that. But the information is critical. So please do that for us as seed on which we are now going to build a proper strategic plan. And then we'll come back to you and share with you at the various levels. We'll have a town hall, we'll meet the reps, we'll meet past presidents and executives of the OAA, just to make sure that all our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed, and we can together put in the work that will transform the OAA into a truly world-class alumni association. I said in my message also that probably in Ghana, alumni associations are the secondary school level. But in the West, okay, outside of Ghana, most alumni groupings are usually at the university level. So in addition to our knowledge and experience at our secondary school level, for all of us, whether it's Ghana alumni, university alumni, outside alumni, we all have some other experiences with alumni associations and the way they are run, the way they are managed, how they're structured. So by all means, share this experience, because ultimately we want to make sure that the OAA is not just a strong function OAA, but we can compare what we do with alumni associations around the world and make that whole process and OAA itself much stronger. So please spend time in the next 2 weeks. You know that anybody who really wants to contribute would have contributed within that 2-week framework. And then we will proceed, and of course we will share whatever we can do. So thank you very much. That's about the strategic plan. I'll hand over now to Accra Vice President and Chair of the Centenary Committee to walk us through the centenary celebration plans. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Accra President. As mentioned earlier on, the theme for the centenary is Achimota at 100, celebrating the vision, honoring the legacy, inspiring the future. And I like to say that Achimota is ACHIMOT. But it starts with A, Achimota at 100. C, celebrating the vision. H, honoring the legacy. And then I, inspiring the future. To help us keep it in mind. Like I said, it wasn't planned that way. It was a spirit. It works perfectly for us. And to start the centenary celebrations, we are planning a drive from Gambaga to Accra. We'll leave Gambaga somewhere 23rd, 24th of January 27 and arrive in Accra on Thursday, 28 January 2028, on the birthday of the school for a flag raising ceremony. So we are asking all our parents living everywhere who are interested to join us. 2 or 3 days drive, we'll stop along the way and let the country know that Achimota is 100 and Ghana will be 70 in 2 months' time. We want everybody to know. So drive from Gambaga. From Gambaga, you stop at from Gambaga, you go straight onto the Bay Road. You stop at Waliwali. From Waliwali, you come down to Tamale. From Tamale, we stop at either Kintampo or Tichiman. Stop in Kumasi. Stop somewhere else along the line, and then arrive at what used to be the Achimota village on the 28th, and then we move into the school for the grand flag raising ceremony. So that's the first activity. Accra Sarah Lynn's nephew will be following his mother's footsteps. 2002, she walked. So he will start the walk earlier. And we'll meet him at the Achimota village and come into the school with him in a convoy. Those who are not able to go with us, you join us in our Jubilee attire and we come into the school. So that's the first activity scheduled for the centenary. Accra President mentioned the various committees, so I'll run through them quickly. We have Achimota Speaks. Accra, I like how they call it Ernest. Accra is a special one. Is the chair of the committee. Work has been going on over the years, and 2 times a year. We'll be continuing in the centenary year, we'll be doing the talk. Then we have Achimota Certificates in worship. We are looking at a number of programs before and then in the centenary year as well. So we're looking at the choral fest, the prayer fest, supporting the first one of 9 lessons and carols, and a pre-Achimota Certificates in worship, which will also be a fundraiser before the centenary. And we have our sports and health works, Health Walks. Accra President talked about the various works we'll be doing to date, and we'll continue with that. Accra Shiloh has, and Accra Sierra Leone, President mentioned the historical documentation, the work that is being done. We've done a fundraiser earlier on, and we are continuing with that work. And I'd like to appeal once again, if you have any documentation, anything on Achimota, we hear somebody has the blazer Kwame Nkrumah used to wear. Please bring it with the inscription so that we'll put it in the museum. Now we are starting off in the library behind Capri and then Jamfi. We are starting off there. It becomes bigger. We'll come back to it for family so we can construct the picture. Then we have the homecoming. We are looking at organizing a homecoming EU Great Britain next year. We'll have one over there. And then also next year in June, July, Ghana has, we are planning, in the US, we are planning, if Ghana has a game and a half left to qualify for the World Cup. And the World Cup is in North America. So the plan is that possibly one of the days where the Ghana game is, if we have a lot of affairs over there, we'll plan homecoming, Achimota homecoming in the US, but close to a stadium where Ghana will be playing. So we can have the crowd over there to raise awareness and let everybody know what is happening. The other suggestion that came on earlier was the 4th July weekend. But they said lots of people have family commitments already that week. So if you do that, yeah, it's a family meets at this time, so it may be a bit of a challenge. And then, yeah, we'll have the grand ball at the end of the year. Memorabilia committee. So the committee is supposed to help us come up with great artifacts, everything which will make us remember, yeah. And Accra President, I'd like to mention we had a challenge. Last year at the AGM, we mentioned that we were hoping to have a Jubilee cloth, a centenary cloth soon. We've gone through a number of iterations. We've received like 40 different cloth designs. We haven't been able to select one yet. We haven't been able to select a design yet. The committee is made up of Accra, teachers from the school. Headmaster gave us 2 teachers from the school, Accra creatives, some chairs of some of the subcommittees. We've looked at the various designs that have come, and each time there's something missing. Yeah, we haven't been able to get something which the committee has been satisfied with. So now we're a bit at a crossroads, but we are still looking at it, and we'll see how we can come up with something sooner or later. So I'm launching an appeal here. If you have a grand design, send it to us by 31st July. If you have a design for the cloth, send it to us by 31st July. If you can come up with a design, send it to us by 31st July. Send it to Accra University.
If the issue has been that you're considering them and you're seeing things you like and don't like, but at least that you buy are the ones here have what it takes to make sense of. Almost so that the creative could combine the features that you're seeing and the ones you do buy and drop off the things you don't like around the. Because if you've seen them and I'm surprised I was like, we're so many great ones and you're trying to pick it, but that didn't happen. But I'm thinking that if you know what's wrong, then those of you who have been trying to come to the section, be the best to send them to grand designs.
I think you're campaigning to become president. Accra President had a similar view. The last time we met, so we'll look at Accra President had a similar view to what you said. So you're getting ready to become president. Another committee we have is opera and drama. We are looking at every year the school has a play which is performed. So we are looking at this year, next year, they have a competition. So we are looking at having a competition which is around the theme of the centenary, and then they will prepare towards, it will help us create awareness towards it. And then we have 2 other plays which are planned. The Blackcats has been selected by the committee, and the Lion in the Club by Wole Soyinka has also been selected by the committee. Those 2 will also be performed. Then the tricky one, the opera. Over the years, we've been doing the Gilbert and Sullivan operas, mainly Mikado and Paris of Penzance. For 2027, we are looking at the possibility of a production, a Ghana production, Achimota Through the Ages, Grey City, with a musical score done locally, having a story of Achimota, the impact it had on Ghana, etc., with a musical score. A team has been set up. They are putting that opera together, and we are looking at November, December this year. We will have what it would look like, and we'll share with the cross-section of our press, find out what we think of the plan, and see if we can progress with that one towards the centenary opera that we hope to have. Yeah, I think those are the major committees. One huge challenge, Accra Vicky is here on the publicity committee. Putting out information about anything at Chimota is one of the most difficult tasks. I don't know how that is. The information is shared, but for whatever reason, we put in maximum effort not to read anything about Achimota. I don't know how we managed to do that, but every information which is put out, almost anybody you see who complains and say, I don't know about it, most likely go to the person's phone. It is there. The person has received it either by email, WhatsApp, whatever. But it's like, yeah, we want to know about Achimota, but we are not ready to read what comes from Achimota. So we are appealing to all of us. The committee has been working. We've been trying to send the information out. Please support us. And then sponsorship and finance. The raffle, Accra president has talked about it. Please join. It's 100 cities. Ghana English, 100 cities pay, if I'm allowed to say that. 100 cities only. Let's buy multiples and then let's win. I mean, and then draw, it was nice. The people who won, we were all there saying, when they called them, we were like, oh, they've never won a raffle before. But which one is the winner here? Who is any of the winners here? Ah, okay. I did a friend. I did boy. I did congratulations. And then one of the winners also, mother and sister are here, but he's not here. From 89 years group, one of the winners is also here. And Alice, you thought you win some. So we'll be supporting with the school farm. We've already talked about it. We are raising money towards a legacy national. 2 minutes on the school farm. 2 minutes. Please give us a brief on the school farm. 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. We've been struggling to put together fundraising strategies. He's mentioned some of the problems we've been facing: communication, enthusiasm, donor fatigue. So it's been a hassle. We talked about the raffle. We are looking for sponsorship, and we tried to get some grants. What we realized was that people don't want to fund enjoyment. They want to fund projects. Looked at Achimota, head, arms, and hands. And the hands was about practical training and education. The art school with all the woodworking, weaving, and all of that, we all remember. And there was the fun. But now there's no fun. We said, no, this would be a very good project to rally about for the centenary. We've had discussions with the headmaster. We drove around there. We identified about 40 acres out of a possible 100 acres. We've had some input from Old Ashmotans, from the Department of Crop Science at the University of Ghana. We have a scheme to cost us about 27 million. What we are trying to do initially is to raise enough money to fence and clear the area, and then put in the initial steps for irrigation, which is the boreholes, the tanks, and some preliminary pipes. We are looking at a partnership with the private sector person, because if you speak to the 96 people, if there's anyone here, they made a massive donation to the school farm, but because of appropriate management, it all went downhill. So we want a private person who have a skin in the game to manage the farm. We have done a study for high value vegetables, and we'll have a discussion with anybody who comes from it. But on the flip side, we want the farm to produce also what the students need on a subsidized basis. So we are looking at maize, tomatoes, cowpeas, onions, and chili peppers. So that's the plan. Accra president will be seeking some of your advice for how we model it financially, the legal issues in it, and some, due diligence or whatever information we have on our groundwater sources, soil suitability, etc. So that's the little I'll tell you about the plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Afra Shido. I'd like to conclude by thanking the school board and the school administration very much for the support they have given us. When Accra board chair was talking, he's already spoken to the president on our behalf, and he's gotten the president's commitment to be here. I think Accra board chair deserves it. And then Accra headmaster, he has ensured that every single committee has a representative from the school on the committees. They join us and they support in all the activities that we are undertaking. and he has given us the former school library opposite the headmaster's office. That is where we are having our meeting. Our next meeting is on Saturday, 28th July. And so we are asking all of you here, if it is possible, get your active members of the year group who want to support to get in touch with the executive secretary, and then we'll get you onto the committees. We have about over 100 people on the various committees we have so far. I think, okay, Accra Presidency only 3 are active. There are several committees, and we have 10 committees so far. We have over 100 names. Some people straddle several committees. The active people are less than 20. Some people attend the meetings and very little output comes from them. So if you have members of your year group who want to be part, we want people who want to join us to actually work. And to also add, our headmaster, we've had the discussions. If the centenary at Chibata Primary will be brought on board, Accra PTA chair just entered. For those who don't know, that is the PTA chair. He just won he's an Accra 1993 year group. Yes, he's joined us. The PTA will also be actively involved. He's come up with very interesting suggestions already every time we meet on what we can do and what we can add. I'm putting him onto the committee. He's not on yet. Maybe you send 2 of his members to join. But we want all of us. Let's put our hands on board and let's work together to make the centenary a success. Over the last 3 weeks, we've been engaging year groups individually and soliciting ideas and strategies. Dynamic 65 came with a brochure on the suggestions that they have for us. They came with a lot of suggestions, things that we can do, which we have taken on board. I left one thing out. The homecoming, the grand homecoming in 2027 will be a 10-day event. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And in that period, every Accra living everywhere can organize a program. It doesn't have to be in Achimota School. If your year group guys want to have a meeting at class 233, go ahead. If the year group guys want to go to Pram for an event, you can do it. The last 3 days will be in Achimota School, where there'll be a records night, there'll be a school fees, there'll be everything. But every Accra living everywhere, anything that we want in that 10-day period. The first weekend, we have activities, everything that we want to do. Any idea, anything, games, whatever you can think of, which excites Accra, come with the ideas, and then we'll have it in that 10-day period. Thank you all very much for your support, and we hope we'll see more active participation and less criticism. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. President and Chair of the Planning Committee. Just to add my voice to a couple of things that Accra Harold spoke about. First of all, I just want to remind us, a lot of the time, maybe we can be forgiven for that, because of the amount of passion and work we put into everything like Achimota. Sometimes we think that it's a OAA celebration. It's Achimota at Hamlet, Achimota School. So what we've done to the point in raise is to make sure that we're bringing all the parties involved. So when you take the school board's already involved, management, teachers, non-teaching staff, students, primary school, PTA, all of those things. Of course, the OAA being a very vested interest holder is leading the charge and organizing it. But please, please, please rally everybody. Achimota and Hamlet is a celebration of a Ghanaian icon. So it's not just about those of us who've been here, it's about those of us who benefited, our families, everybody. So all of these events where we talk about homecoming, blah, 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 yes, it will be led by Crest, but it's really a celebration of Achimota and Ghana. And on that note, I think Accra Harold mentioned that Ghana turns 70 as well in that same year. Accra Boche spoke about the invitation of the Prince of Wales. Whilst we work towards a proper, clear calendar of who's coming when, blah, 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 it's important to note that generally speaking, Our Founders Day is typically held on the first Saturday of March. In 2027, the first Saturday of March is, guess what? 6th of March. So there's already a potential conflict with the Ghana celebration, blah, blah, blah. But there's good and bad news. What it also means is that whoever it is that the government brings in for 6 March, we can find a way of. So we've got to figure out cleverly how to straddle 6 March, Mr. Chimoda, and Ghana at 17, Mr. Chimoda, but whatever it is, we'll make it work and we'll let you know. Second comment about the raffle. Accra feels less criticism. I personally don't mind the criticism, only if you get involved. Raffle draw, I've heard all kinds of things. You put your raffle that only the execs one. I said, which execs? As for me, I put my hand up. From the days when Golden Chance Raffle was a Peugeot 604, I've never won anything. I have tried and tried and tried, and I haven't won. I've fixed this raffle. I went in knowing that I'll win, but I contributed anyway for a worthy cause. Now, all those aside, maybe watching the video, you notice Accra President, Accra Leslie, Accra Eunice. We were just picking ballot numbers. I didn't win anything. I picked Accra Headmaster picked the first ballot, he didn't win anything. I picked the second ballot, I didn't win anything. But interestingly, when I asked this friend of mine, okay, no, I explained to him, I said, but have you bought a ticket? He said no. I think address you won't do that. If you are aware of who's winning, but you don't have address, please get involved and you can win. I assure you that I haven't won anything because I don't win. But even if I do, I'll donate it to the next person. So it may be you. So please buy your raffle tickets. I think that's it on commentary for contributions. My additions to that report. Are there any listening has a question? Can we have a different microphone or a contribution?
Yes, back to the raffle. For those outside Ghana, from Monday, they can speak using their visa cards. It took a long time for the due diligence to be done, not only at the banks, but apparently on our OAA website, before it was accepted that the link would be placed on our website so people could participate in the raffle. So for all those outside Ghana, from Monday, go to the OAA website. You will see a link to Achimota School Raffle. Follow the prompts and participate, and you can win big. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Accra Leslie. I can't thank Accra Leslie and the team enough for all the work that's going on. Each year group is supposed to meet for 20 minutes. That's your year group's commitment. But the team that was meeting those year groups was 20 times whatever number of year groups we were willing to do it. So thank you very much to the team as well. And those of you who haven't met yet, please, book your 20-minute slots and let's engage and get ideas from you. It's time to look at how we performed in the year under review, and I'll hand over to our. I'm sorry. I believe that there are comments online. Let's take those very quickly. If you can kindly give a graduate the microphone.
Would be great to have a convoy of buses like the City Ghana 16 regional tour. We also took it north, south, west, east, drive from Gambaga, not clear. Is it from Accra to Gambaga and back? So is the starting point from Accra or from Gambaga? So folks have to get to, how to get to Gambaga. The official drive is from Gambaga. We also Enketa must feature somewhere. It does not necessarily have to be part of the Gambaga to Accra trip. We could create entirely different events for these locations. My 2 pence. World Cup meet sounds exciting. Some games will be played in Toronto, Canada. So that could be an option. Centenary Opera. Looks like the starting point is Gambaga. Folks will have to get themselves to Gambaga. There's still time to modify and clarify the plans further. I thought we would start from Accra altogether. Road trips from Gambaga, Keta, Biosu to converge in Accra, journeying through the Achimota School. Wherever Accras can be found in Ghana, they commence their drives to converge in Achimota with appropriate publicity during their journeys. Accras everywhere promoting the centenary in whatever small way we can. Even local discussions in local radio stations everywhere telling the Achimota story. Get funded by the school. Get funded by the school when is it available? Delay not part of this. Delay not part of Achimota. Sorry, I can't read that.
Okay. I think thank you very much to our online participants. The point there in our world is a few things to react to very quickly though, or to clarify. The question about the drive, whether it's from Kampaga or we make the mistake sometimes of thinking that all of us are in Accra. Now this is going to be once again a national event and a Shimotan event. Somebody will start from Kumasi to go Kampaga, somebody will start from home. So the starting point is Kampaga. If you are in Accra, yes, you necessarily have to drive to Kampaga and start. If you are in Kumasi, you drive to Kampaga and start. If you are in Tamale, you drive to Kampaga and start. But the starting point, as per our school song as well, is Kampaga to Accra. The point about we also and Keta has come up, is being considered. Should we do one main one that comes from Kampaga to Accra and allow a few to start from we also and time and Keta and time to all converge? Is being worked on, but we will figure that out as we go along. But the point about respecting our story, the fullness of our story, is well noted and is being worked on. I think that's about it. So we'll go on. If there are more questions, we'll hand over to Accra Treasurer now to take us through the numbers. And then if there are more questions online, please let me know and we'll come back to those.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Accra President. I'm honored to present to you the OAA reports and financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2024. We will start with the independent auditor's report to be read by Accra Bosman.
Good afternoon, chorus. I'll read the opinion and then I'll read the report on other legal and regulatory requirements. Independent auditors report to the members of Old Achimota Association. Opinion. We have audited the company financial statements of Old Achimota Association, which comprise of the statement of financial position as at December 31st, 2024, statement of financial performance and accumulated fund account, a statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and notes to the financial statements, which include a summary of significant accounting policies as set out on pages 9 to 13. In our opinion, proper books of account have been kept, and the financial statements, which are in agreement therewith, give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the association at 31st December 2024, and of the statement of financial performance, a statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and comply with international financial reporting standards and the Ghana Companies Act 2019 Act 992. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. Compliance with the requirements of Section 137, the Companies Act 2019 Act 992, We have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. In our opinion, proper books of account have been kept. The statements of financial position and statements of financial performance and accredited for the account and agreement with the books of accounts. Signed by Boss Manila and I on behalf of BLA and Associates, dated 5th July 2025. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Akwa Boston. I'd like to present the statement of financial position for as at 31st December 2024. For the year 2024, we deployed assets of 793,446, and these were made up of fixed assets of 48,875 and current assets made up of investments in cash and bank balances of 744,571. Our investments were held in treasury bills, Government of Ghana treasury bills, and we did hold some mutual funds with Data Bank and also with the Stanbic Cash Trust. Our current liabilities accounted for about 29,000 at the end of the year, and they were mainly made up of payables owed to the endowment fund. I believe in the endowment fund report, we had that they had received 28,000 CDs. They were owed another 11,500, which was paid, which has now been paid to them in 2025. However, at the end of the year, it was outstanding. In addition to that, the 1971 and 1981 year groups are working on a solar project, I believe at the Assembly Hall. Last year, they had collected about 100,000, which was being held in an OAA account. They collected an additional amount during the year 2024, and they spent a bit. And the amount that was owed at the end of the year was 17,500 CDs. Our net current assets amounted to 715,571, which was up from the 2023 net current asset balance of 497,967. And our net assets on a whole was 764,446. Again, up from the 2023 position of 564,858. These funds made up of an accumulated fund of 710,296 and a fair valuation reserve of 54,150. There's a note in the account that explains the fair valuation reserve. On our mutual funds, the price per share increased year on year. However, until we sell those shares, we do not realize the gains. And so in the interim, we recognize those shares as in a fair valuation reserve, only to be realized when the shares are sold. So that's a statement of financial position. I'll go to the statement of financial performance for the year ended 31st December 2024. We recorded inflows or income of 909,336, which was above the 2023 amount of 475,753. And this income came from a combination of sources. With the revised due structure, we saw our dues amount increase to 487,872 from 177,334 the year before. So I echo the OAA President's plea that we pay up in 2025 as well, so that we are able to work on the different activities for the association. We made souvenir sales of about 143,542. We received some donations. The OA president mentioned that the OA 93-year group gave us a donation of 50,000. We received other sponsorships towards the documentation projects, etc. And those are the items that made up the income line of 909,336. Out of this, we spent an amount of 858,397, up from an amount of 485,426 for the year 2023. The key line items on the expenses are employees' remuneration. Last year, the AGM supported an increase in salaries for the Secretariat employees. In addition to that, we have, well, I mentioned the funds we received for the documentation project. We had to spend some money on the documentation project. In addition to that, the OA 93 funds received supported a donation to the school. We bought computers for the school. And the total amount we spent on that was about 70,000 cedis. We got 50,000 from the 93-year group, and we supported from the OAA for the rest. Other Accra events like the end of year get together, carol service expenses, and some centenary expenses also made up part of the total expenses that has been mentioned. We had other income of 133,287, and this was mainly from interest we earned on treasury bills, foreign exchange gains on our USD balances that we held. We also got some contributions towards the carol service and other things. So overall, netting the expenditure of the items of income that was received, we made a surplus of 184,226 cedis, up from 27,861 for 2023. And as a result, our accumulated fund went up from 526. Accumulated fund went up from 526,070 cedis to an amount of 710,296, as seen in the statement of financial position. In terms of our cash flows, we didn't purchase any assets in 2024. We saw the increase in the fair valuation reserve. The increase in our cash equivalents for the year came from the surplus that we made and the interest that we earned on different asset classes. And so our cash and cash equivalents at the end of the year was an amount of 744,571. And this was held in about 72,787 of that was held in treasury bills. 130,955 was held in mutual funds and fund with Data Bank and the Stanbic Cash Trust. And then we had cash at bank of 540,829. This cash at bank has a component that's held in dollars, about $10,000. It also has an amount of about 120,000 that has to do with the solar project, and so will be used by the 71 and 81 year group. And so we literally can't do anything with it. And then we have about 150 to 200,000 that is cash at bank, and that we will look at our immediate liabilities and decide whether or not we can invest some of this in treasury bills in the short term. So with our company notes, these are our financials for the year ended 31st December 2024, and I'd like to lay them before the association and the AGM for approval. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to hear it. Across this is how it was formed in the year 2024. Are there any comments, any contributions? Yes, Accra Martin.
Okay, Accra Martin, Mitri, 1983, year group. Just one question to our esteemed treasurer. So the bank and cash that we hold for 540,000, do we have a call account that we can use for this bank? I know it's been allocated for different projects, but is it held at all or is it held in account? Thank you.
No, we currently don't have a call account on these. Like I said, the 120, we will discuss with the 81 and 71 year groups to see what they want to do, what their spending plan is, and then we can decide what to do with that. And then there's an amount that there's an account that holds the inflows from souvenir sales, and we use that to purchase new souvenirs. But I think that we can invest in the short term because we would normally need additional souvenirs in Q4. So we might be able to invest that in the short term. We will do that. And we will speak to our bankers also around keeping it on call because that way we can earn something later on in the short term.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I think there's one more and
My name is Andrea Kofi Kiska, 2009. Just to add to the core discussion, we can put on a two-way call swing. It means that anytime we write a check, the funds are going to sweep up so that we utilize it. At least when the funds are in the account, we need to earn something small. So regardless of when the year group is going to use it, it could also continue to earn interest until they are ready to use it. So I think we should try and use all our accounts on two-way sweep call. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
any other balance suggestions? The abstinence of staying. I want to let you go through. Are there any other hints? I'm sorry. Are there any further questions or contributions? In the absence of saying, can we have someone please move for the Accra Martin moves? Do we have a seconder? Accra, we have seconders, thirders, fourthers. Thank you very much. Accra Professional Society, Accra, NS, Kusioko, and Accra NS. Oh, so that takes us to the request to the AGM to authorize the executive committee to what's that? To fix it at zero. Thank you very much. We continue to thank you for your support of Ashipito School. Thank you. I guess that really brings us to the tail end. We are not done, but done. We are almost done. Across the I see that you're back. Thank you very much for coming back. Your absence, we recognized the 1986 year group, your project to refurbish the Abbey Chapel. We told the house that we should be expecting a brand new looking-ish Abbey Chapel soon. We also thank you so very much. Please extend out your thanks to the year group. We also recognized in 2002 for the project, which is a dormitory. That brings us to AOB. So to start the AOB, we'll see first Accra Prof. I'll come to you in a minute. Accra Ambassador Senasia Boateng has a hand up, and after that, oh, you're disowning the ambassador. No. It's hard work. Accra, please go
ahead. Thank you very much. Accra President, I desperately need the dates for next year's Founders Day celebrations, please. I'm being, whacked by my aggressive the diaspora.
I hear
There are rumors that the dates will change. It won't be the first Saturday. I don't know how true that is. But I told them out of this AGM, I'll bring them something. So I hope I can take something away.
no promise of security.
Thank you.
The date for it's all technically been calendarized. We all know it's locked in, but unfortunately with this track 1, track 2, track middle track, we're not saying. I'll let the headmaster speak to you about that, and then maybe we can confirm. But apologies that we can't seem to be able to lock in. It's really due to circumstances beyond the school's control. Hold on a second.
Thank you, President. That is true. It's going to be much, but we need to be very careful about the date, because we didn't know when the students will be in school. So we have to wait. But not, it wouldn't go beyond August. The dates, my information.
It's not the founding day on this. We have essentially like in July. Unfortunately, we feel okay, we are all frustrated, but it's circumstances beyond our control. I think what I say is it won't go beyond a month from now, which is August. By that time, we'll know when school is. We'll have a better sense of what the calendar is looking like, and then the school board will work in terms of blocking the date, and then of course we'll share with all the parents. But this is really not how we want it to look like. But we think so. We think so. We'll confirm. I think better safe than sorry, because if you buy, they have to change. Locking in, they have to change it. We understand. But as soon as possible, we'll let you know. Can the mic please be passed on to Accra Prof. Emeritus Ivan Adamus?
Oh, these credentials. Yeah, now that the person is around, I would like to plead with him and his committee. Whatever renovation they're going to this Agri Chapel, please remain loyal to the original architectural concept. We don't want a situation where I don't want a situation where the whole place will be closed up for air conditioner brought in. I see now natural air conditioner.
To save you, I will say that this has been totally discussed and aligned topic from the school board to the project committee to the OAA with the OAA 96. And I can tell the House that there will be no structural changes to Agri Chapel as we know it. Today, the Agri Chapel is speaking badly. We have issues with queues. Our floors are cramped. We don't have disability access. We don't have a very solid audiovisual equipment here. So those are the things that we're going to look at. There's a meeting between the 86-year group, the project committee. There are 21 different things that need to be vestry. We don't, lots of things. There's no washroom in the vestry for those are the things that we're going to do. But then we're respecting the history and architecture and iconic value of the Agri Chapel. There will be no structural. I use that.
Thank you.
If you change,
so
ceiling is not structural.
The word renovation that's frightened me. In Ghana, sometimes when they say renovation, it means they are going to knock down walls.
For a point well made. Thank you very much. Any AOB. I was hoping that we'll be able to finish all of this by 5, and we're looking good. So if there are any, there's any other business, Accra, I see your home.
Oh, just a short question. Mr. Headmaster, we started long time ago a new chapel. Supposed to be the new Agri Chapel. We haven't heard anything for a long time. You have any information?
The new chapel, not the new Agri Chapel. The name, of course, will be as determined by the board. But what is not your issue?
Yes, we started working on that. The board chairs are aware of this. The OAA presidents are aware of this. I came back at our project committee meeting, and we are doing something about that. We are just praying that we get funding from some source. I will start.
Let me add to that. I think it's a very important question, a very important conversation we need to have. First of all, in terms of location, the new chapel is located very well next to, adjacent to, depending on your physics and your math, where you're standing, the new assembly hall. So if you were to enter the assembly hall through the back, as you approach the assembly hall to your left, you will see, depending on where you come here, if we haven't had our 4 laborers we have for the whole school clean up the place, you may not notice it. But it's tucked in there. It's a huge foundation, major pillars, it's a big edifice. At the time we started, when I say we, the school board, everybody who collaborated, the school population was, I believe, 2,500. And so projecting for the future, we're building a 3,000 capacity chapel. As per the headmaster's report, that is long gone. But that investment has been made. What I want to say about it though, is that to complete it, it's not the task. Look, truth is that we got to that point by the school's IGF at the time, when the school could raise IGF, with support from a few year groups. We've come this far. To be able to get it to completion, it's not a task for any single year group necessarily to do. We need to change that mindset where every year group necessarily wants to do something and put their name on it. If we are going to be able to support Achimota School to do the significant things that it actually needs, we've got to recognize that the only way to do it is to collaborate. So it's the kind of task that we need to have multiple year groups supported by corporates come together. There will always be opportunity on any building to recognize 10, 20 year groups if we collaborate. It doesn't have to be you can't do it by yourself. It's also going to be fixed. So you can have 1 year group say I'm doing up to this phase, another group you take it up. But we've got to change that mindset where we feel like it has to be some project that we can own. Everything we contribute, ultimately, none of these things we do are for the year groups, they are for the school. So it has to be what the school needs that will be aligned with support. So I'm encouraging all our year groups as think about your projects, not just with the chapel, but with everything else. Don't narrow it to what you can do today. Talk to the school board, talk to the school administration, talk to the project committee, see what's online, see what's most important at that given time, and please contribute to it. If indeed it's a project that you can start and finish, hallelujah. But you are not serving Achimota School any less if it's a contribution to an existing project that somebody also has to come to contribute. So I think it's important that we recognize this and change that mindset. Akra has one more question. Can I see my show of hands so I know where I'm going next? Otherwise, we'll round this up. Akra, thank you.
President, thank you. It's a question posed. And during our discussions about this chapel and then that one, we sincerely think, and I think we speak for other year groups, that particular project should be all year groups project. No 6, 8 year groups can even finish it. If we decide that it's all year groups project, then in addition to our annual dues that we pay to OAA, let every year group probably donate 50,000 or 20,000 or 10,000, I don't know how much, to that particular project, because that project is a project that cannot be handled even by 8 or 6 or 5. Let's do something about that chapel.
Please. I think that's a very good suggestion, and we'll take that on board. But Asset Fund is happy to collect the money. But no, very, 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 very valid point. And we'll look at how it is that we can move that forward. In that light, and I'm not making any announcement, I'm just sharing some thinking that we have now. You know, once again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with copying with pride to make your systems better. You know, we have a system here where year groups do, it's the 25th celebrating it, well, 20th now, 25th, 30th is doing President's Ball, and then the burden then move from there, actually move from 25 to 50. to 50. Then under Accra and the scientist presidency, it was decided that, listen, the burden by the time you get to 50, first of all, in terms of natural attrition and ability to fund, had diminished. So move that, and there was nothing, absolutely nothing happened when you get 40. So move that down gradually to 40. So in the last 85 years, up to 89, we are combining year groups to do a legacy project. However, once again, speaking about the capital projects, we're beginning to think around, is it possible to, in addition to that, or when we finish that, change that whole contribution structure to say decades, right? So you can have 4 different decades working together to contribute towards a significant project. So let's say 77, 87, 97, 2007, 2017, as opposed to leaving the burden on just 1 or 2 years. So once again, we're thinking around ways in which we can make it easier, because at the end of the day, it's the same approach we go to for everything. So if we can structure it so it's easier and make other people contribute as well, then maybe it will make the burden lighter. So we'll come to you as once again, we put together this strategic plan and think around ways in which we can make this burden lighter for all of us. But if it comes to that, once again, we will share. But I just thought I'll mention that so that we can begin to ruminate over it. Thank you very much. I don't see any hand up for you. So we'll go online very quickly. I see one, but we'll do online very quickly. Then we'll come to in-house and then we will move to close. And then the secretariat's announcement. Okay, all right, cool.
Joseph Ampofo, it's my prayer that in the near future our financials will be in the billions. Amen. Renovation of Ivory Chapel, will it involve expansion of seating capacity? The answer is no. Why is the camera directed towards the panelists only? Humble question. I think the camera, please repeat it for us. Love the chapel idea. It's a great project. Let's be iron. Then there's what's the school's plan to an NSLQ trophy towards the centenary celebration? It would be beautiful to have a trophy driven from Gambaga to Accra. That's a good idea. We'll say a big amen to that one. Accra president, Accra headmaster. Accra headmaster, we want to take a trophy from Gambaga to Accra. Accra boy will pass 50% before we get here. It will also be a good idea to have OAA backing, to have a formidable OAA Canada chapter. Get in touch with Accra University. We'll make sure that it's done. Yeah, there are a number of questions on the NSNQ, but I think it's all in the same direction. So thank you very much. We have one more.
We'll have Accra headmaster answer that NSNQ space so we don't lose trouble.
We are working on it. Gradually we'll get there. Let's all put our hands together and our prayers together. So my prayer works, you know. Let's pray. Let's get there. And we are promising. Suma, Zamsa, we are promising. We'll get there. You shouldn't be surprised. I'll bring them up.
And also just to point out that the STEM fund that we set up has a number of aims. One is to support and maintain the science lab, and then also agriculture, so the school farm, and also the national science and math base. So far, the performance of the school has been down to a lot of work done by our vice president and a few collaborators who come and help the students to motivate them all. We want to institutionalize it. So those who want us to win it for the centenary, please start donating. It is cash.
Thank you very much. Accra, can you There's a mic. Can the mic go to Accra in the corner? So when you get the mic, please hold it for 1 second. Accra, use.
Accra, Naomi, Oyo, Okini, Kuti, please stand for everybody to see you. Accra, Naomi, of the 1993 year group. The way you are, I think you know her. Of the 1993 year group, sought our votes for the Asta Guardian Global Nursing Award. And she won, and I'm glad to say thank you. So would you like to say thank you?
Thank you very much for your support and the prayers. Actually, the school was also part of our journey, and we thank God that we passed here. We're told that it's not a right, it was a privilege to be in a school. And we took a grant for it, and I believe that, as you said, there are always the pay centers wherever we go. And it didn't fit that this year, Anakara won not just Anakara, from Ghana and Africa won the Asta Guardian Global Nursing Award. It's a real privilege, and it's a win for Ghana, it's a win for Africa, it's a win for nursing and midwifery to those who are nursing and midwifery. Also a win for University of Ghana and to the University of Ghana. Yes, a win for Actually, a win for Achimota, a win for University of Ghana, and also a win for KNUST. I was also there. All that and masters, and really, and it's a privilege to stand before you, fathers and those who have gone ahead of us, and I am it and those coming. Really privileged to be here. Thank you very much for your support.
And congratulations, Dr. Thank you for going out of living water to your festival. Congratulations. I have a question, and then we are rounding out.
I have a contribution.
Super.
To align with what you said, our year group 2000, we are doing the 80 classroom tour. And headmaster, I'll tell you, it's one of the needs of the school. We are on the last floor. We are almost done. And we have to deliver in 4 months. So we believe we need every aggressive push to be able to get that project through. So do well to find our year group and contribute and support. Let us deliver this for the school to make teaching very wonderful for the semester. Thank you.
Well said, but this your contribution tells us that you are one of the ones who came late. Because we will discuss this ahead. So that will have to respect our 2 o'clock. Okay, and on that note, okay. Hey, Abraham, please, you have the floor.
Thank you. I'm watching class of depression. I'm a little disappointed about our reaction to the winning the NSMB. I think we appreciate it. Let us set that as a goal for our centenary celebration and ask ourselves, what would it take to win it? I think we can win it if we set our minds to it. Prayer is good, but hard work is even better. And let us do whatever it takes to actually bring the trophy from Gambaga to Accra. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much. Let me really emphasize this again, but a lot of work has going into this NSMS thing. The school board has mandated a certain amount of money that it's given to the school, the teachers and staff to support. The OAA contributes financially. Accra spoke about the various Accra who come and support. So it's really, really dear on our hearts, dear to our hearts, and we're working on it. Maybe that didn't come out there, but your point, absolutely, everything must leave no stone unturned in trying to make sure that we win. Not just once because of the centenary, but to maintain it and make sure that the story of the Chimoto squad there is what we know it should be. So 100%, we're fully aligned. Very well. It was like mass advance. Very well, very well.
bring the food. And even mention the teachers back.
No, that's fine. It's good. It's good. I think really NSNQ is something that's very dear to the hearts of Ashwotans, especially because we know that it is our right. So we will make sure. So we have to make sure that we claim our birthright. We're not going to get it by lying down. We're going to put in everything that we need to do to make sure that we do that. So we will. We will. We promise you that. So that brings us to an item on the agenda that we move from the end to the beginning, because from the beginning to the end, just as you are close to the roll call. So we'll hand over now to Accra Vice President to lead us through the roll call of Accra's at this AGM.
Thank you very much, Accra President. Maybe today let's start with the teachers over here. So we have Accra Headmaster, Accra Head 1, Accra Head 3, Accra Head. Please stand up and let's, and then all the all of the time. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, I didn't see Father Ajuma and the other teachers over there. Thank you very much. Yes, that in 2017 years, he has been supporting the science and math space, and he's been around the journey. Accra Robert, okay, he's Accra and he's, so I don't know where to put him, whether he's an Accra or he's a teacher or both. Okay, so we start. NSMQ as well. Anybody from the 50s here? I can't see. Nobody from them. Okay, so the 40s. So we start with 1960, the 60s. Okay, 1960, 1962, 1963, 1965, 1966. Let's begin a big round of applause. And we have respect to them. At the time they were given at Chibata School, nobody on this idea was for. Thank you very much. Oh no, they're not good. We are talking about this side. Okay, so we're not as of the 60s, I acknowledge them by year, but the rest, okay, 73 is here. So we have to acknowledge 73 because 73 is special. 73 1973, 1975, 1975, 1975, 1976, 1979, 72. So a big round of applause to all of them. I've already started the 80s. 80s, those from the 80s. You know, like 89, 82. After that's 82. I can't see 82, 89, 89, 86, 83, 89, 86, 89, 88, 89. A big round of applause to all to all including the 8. The president wants us to recognize it tonight. Is there somewhere? Thank you very much. Accra from the 80s. Accra from the 90s. Okay, so I know 91, 93, 94, 99, 92, 98, 96. 93, 93. Okay, so Akana Alame, she helped Crop Science Department, that great project. She was one of the brains behind it. 91. Yeah. Okay, so we go to the 2000s now. 2000s, those from 2000. So that's across 2000. But you know what? Okay, 2000, all the 2000, 2003, 2008, 2001, 2009. Oh, 2011, you are not ranking 2011. 2004, congratulations, all those. 2010. I will take 2010 to 2025. 2011 or 2017. I think part of our love of 2010, 2011 and 2017. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Accra Vice President. Slowly but surely, we're coming to the end of today's program. Before we end, I want to, in thanking all of you for making time to attend, thank you so very much. Our brothers and sisters online, thank you very much for joining and staying right through to the end. Thank you very much across all of you, each and every one of you, for making time to be here with us today. Thank you also for all your contributions to Chimote School and the OAA over the year. We're looking forward to more of it. We're sharing our plans. We will trust that you continue to support us. I want to especially recognize and say thank you to 4 people. Accra past presidents, Sarah Mansare, Accra Professor Ernest Aide. Another round. And then past board chairs, Accra Ernest Kwesi and Accra Emmanuel also proud. Thank you very much for continuing to support the work of the OAA. So thank you very much to everybody who's doing anything OAA at Chimote School, the committees, the centenary celebrations, the year groups. We truly, truly appreciate you. At Chimote School, thanks. Sorry. Yes, I'm still thank you to all of you. I should thank you. You don't know. I should make it louder. Online people, we thank you. And only those who stayed right, we thank you. We would love your physical presence next time, but we thank you. Especially those of you in Abuchi who can't physically be here. After that brings us to the end of our meeting today. 2 things. Can I have you? Oh, before you go, please let me say a big thank you to the OAA Secretariat, Accra Eunice and her team. Thank you very much for keeping us forward and all the hard work that you did to it. Oh, before also, let's say a big thank you to our tech support for today. Those who made it possible for us to be on. Thank you so very much. And anybody who's contributed anything at all to this AGM, we thank you. Can I have Accra? We have a second guy in Accra, Nana Elisa. And so Accra will ask Accra for our Ajman to say us a closing prayer.
Thank you to our person.
Thank you. So, Father, shall we please stand? Now, we Let us pray. Oh, merciful Father, we thank you for this hour. We thank you for a successful AGM. We thank you for our deliberations, suggestions. We thank you for our Chimote School and the OAA. Lord, our prayer is, may we be fruitful in all our deliberations. Bless our works. Bless the school. Bless the leadership. Guide and protect us in all endeavors. May not die before our time. Protect us and our families. As we serve our generations now, may we remember someday. We commit the school to gracious care. All our plans, we plan, but you actualize them. Therefore, we commit our plans to you. Those from far and near, we commit all of them to you. Remember at Mother School. Our heart's prayer is that as we celebrate our centenary, we'll do so with the sight of mass cap. Father, let it be happen. Let it happen. Amen. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Once we call upon you, we want prayer answering God. We'll do our best, but we know it will come from you. We thank you. By the power of the Holy Spirit, send our all safely back to our places. We'll get up again to continue with our way. Let your blessings be on us and our families and the school. This is our prayer. Through your Son, Jesus the Christ, have you prayed with thanksgiving? Amen. Amen. Of course, thank you very much once again. And we will go home with our school song from Gambaka to Accra. From Gambaka to Accra, from Rio to Cape Town, we are proud to say our mother is the school. She will guide us already, so to learn what we may teach, so to subjugate us all we may rule. Live again, shout and win, spread everything love. She's the head of all the hosts, she's the school of whom we boast, she's the glory of the host. Immortal. When our books are laid aside and we start to far and wide, we remember with affection all we gave. How we learn to take our share in the life and live up there, where the name of whom we are proud is all we trade. Shout and win, spread everything apart. She's the head of all the hosts, she's the school of whom we boast, she's the glory of the coast. Thank you very much, across.
Abreast, please. We have very light refreshment just outside.